So today I'm here at Celltel to meet the famous Kludjeson, the man who actually contributed enormously to Ghana's telecommunication industry and the whole journey, what's happening currently, the possibility that he's gone into some partnerships with some Chinese companies to turn this whole business into some cellular phone manufacturing and television manufacturing and other manufacturing business. What's really happening or what's going to happen to the cell phone business and how he is actually just looking at the telecommunication environment now. Welcome, Mr. Kludjeson.
Thank you.
So tell us about Celltel. You have gone into some partnership with a Chinese company. What I read, you have about $5.5 million investment or injection to develop some cellular phones, TV sets and all that, laptops. What is the current state?
Okay, well, welcome, Adelia. It was nice meeting you the last time anyway.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Yeah, well, you know, the current state of our economy requires that we must leapfrog, you know, whether everybody likes it or not. I've been in the industry for some time now, and I think that it's a blessing that God has given to me. And my biggest passion, you know, in life because of my parentage, you know, being an orphan, you know, I want to continue supporting what I now call not the youth, but the next generation, you know, the next generation. We've done it all. My journey in the telecommunication industry started from many years ago, where I started life with 12 pocket calculators, you know, out of need. You know, actually I was in the U.S. I was in the south side of Chicago, and I actually came to visit my mother at that time. You know, in the 70s. I don't want to say that was too long. And so I've done, you know, what we call at that time not computer science, but they call it information science.
Yes.
So when I came back home, trying to go around to visit, you know, those who are doing those, they're all foreign companies, you know, ICL, NCR, IBM, all those major companies.
Yes.
So that led me to most of the companies that I visited. And then I ended up with, I think, NCR at the time, yeah, National Cash Register, they call it at the time. So when I was about leaving, you know, then the sales manager, you know, at that time, said, "Oh, young man, you people from America, you know, those are the calculators about to come, you know, into the pocket calculators." So he said, "Well, we need calculators. So if you go back to your country, if you could help, you know." That's about all the beginning, you know, of you know, whatever it took. So I said, "What do you want?" You know. He said, so I came to talk about computers and other things, but you talk about calculators, you know. So,
you were way ahead of the system.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, we spoke about it. So when I got back to the US, you know, I started investigating. You know, I found out that calculators are just about coming, you know. So I said, okay, I had to come back again, you know, to visit my mother. So when I was coming, I brought these 12 pocket calculators, you know, which I bought from Radio Shack, you know, I think there were 12, you know. So I brought it and I sent it to him. I think his name is one Mr. Victor Danko, you know, that's what's the name. I can't remember very well. So when I sent it, he said, "Oh no, sorry, this is not the brand we want." You know, I said, "What do you mean this is not the brand you want?" You know. He said, "Well, they are NCR, so they have accredited brand that they have to use." So, Odelia, that was the beginning of the end of my life because I got stuck. My money was stuck up in the in the calculators. Don't know what to do. You know, I can't go back to the US. I don't know what to do. So I started praying, you know, to God as to what should happen. Why did I take this decision? You know. But Odelia, that became the best blessing God has given to me for taking that risk, to listen to whatever the request was for Ghana. So the obvious choice was to see how I can sell it and then go back, But then it took 6 months
To sell.
to sell. Nobody was interested, because it was new, So, but then something again major happened. I mean, going from office to office, while in the U.S. also, I've been selling, in the U.S. the biggest job, the best job is sales job.
Yes.
So then I ended up in many offices, Then one day I had a call from PNT, Post and Telecommunication. That the managing director then wanted to see me at 12 o'clock. So, I arrived there at 12 o'clock. So that was lunchtime. So he invited me to lunch. He said, "Young man, why are you so aggressive like that, trying to sell, common calculator? What is it about? Who are you? Where do you come from?" So one Mr. Debra, Mr. Peter Debra late, okay. So we chatted and I told him what my story was. So where do you come from? So I come from Harvard. I said, my best friend is Gosh, the pilot, Mr. Agbo. You do know? I said, "Oh, that's my uncle." So things change. First lesson, relationships,
Yeah.
God learned. So he called the accountant. "Well, this young man is coming to the office. Can we help him?" And then, "We need a calculator. We need a bigger one, than this one." The desktop was also coming. So we did, and they said, "Okay, I'll buy this from you, so that you can relax, because you are worrying everybody too much." That was the beginning of my life. So I have to register a company to sell it. So I registered Kludjeson Enterprise.
How would you say the regulatory regime helped for Celltel to survive or otherwise? Because my expectation is that by now, Celltel should have been as big or even bigger than MTN, because that is also coming from South Africa, which is a black dominated business. So my expectation was that once you had started this business way before all of these people joined in, you should have survived and become a bigger business than it is today. What happened?
Okay, first, there's no MTN. There's no company called MTN in Ghana.
Yes.
Let me establish that one first. There's no company called MTN in Ghana.
Yes.
MTN is a brand. Many people are making a lot of mistakes in Ghana. MTN is a company. It's not. It's a brand. The company is called Scancom, also founded by a Ghanaian called Richmond Agri, one of my colleagues.
Okay.
So when we're doing it, others came. Richmond Agri, in fact, was even the first in Nigeria. So we need to go to Nigeria to learn from him. So he also came to Ghana and then formed Scancom. It was then in Nigeria a company called MTN. Our current president, incidentally, was also part and parcel of the Melicom, or the Melicom company, at that time.
Yeah.
And at that time, the only other person who is our current Minister of Communication that also was us came to join what we call ZANE, which will also call Western Wireless. On the road to do this thing, there was a major policy at that time where they thought that, we don't have money, we don't have experience. So there was a policy that they must bring what we call strategic investors, strategic operators in to join the company. The first was, for me, that's the biggest mistake Ghana has ever made until today. First was the Post and Telecoms. That came the Malaysian, deal. Malaysian Telecom came and, joined, I think 70-30%. Government of Ghana, 30%, 70%. Malaysians, and it didn't work out. Then came in Norwegian Telecom, it did not work out. Then we, then of course the Scancom, then the Scancom went, to Spaceful, that journey all the way to Ariba, all the way to today. And then we went to a company, came through called Hutchison. So yes. This is how this whole thing, began. And then the beginning. So in this process, there was a need for a regulatory body, to form two regulatory bodies. One is the regulatory, which the FCC, in the US is called Federal Communication Commission. So we began the journey how to form, a regulatory body, which is now called NCA.
Yes.
So it was through the frequent. Actually, I even designed the first license. Gives Millicom 01 and Celltel 02, and I put the Ghana coat of arms on it. So one Mr. Jackson, may he rest in peace, he was then the frequency board, the executive secretary. So we got that fixed to place, them, so we began that journey. So as we moved on, the NCA or the regulatory body, one thing led to the other, was formed, to regulate, that industry, Then another issue was the stock exchange, because there's something called put and exit. So if people have to invest, where would they exit? So, gentleman called one Mr. Faridonko, the founder of Carl Bank, they were then a merchant bank. So most of this happened at merchant bank. Mrs. Baita. I was always the only private person about this in the midst, and all the politics in Ghana. I'm always the only private person.
Yeah.
You
would you say that a lot of the litigations that you went through was because you were virtually like a pace setter in the private telecoms business?
Telecom is not machines.
Yeah.
You see, even sometimes this Elevy, I'm very, very worried about it because, you see, telecom is not machines, it's legal. It's intellectual property. When you buy a phone, there's a little paper inside. When you read it, you read that, so and so and so. All the telcos went to litigation in Ghana. Ghana Telecom, everybody, it's because of legal matter, everybody went to. So when we did our deal with Hutchison, we never got a penny. It was a deal because of AT&T. Then in 1983, there was the AT&T was so big, the U.S. courts ruled that AT&T is too big, so they broke them into what we call baby bells.
Yes.
So we're left with no partners, So came in a company called Lucent, which the equipment arm. So they formed an equipment arm called Lucent, So they came and joined, but they were not operators, they were not operators. So in finding NCA, so they sent a lot of AT&T sent a lot of people to Ghana, Victor Lawrence, Enim. So there was also a need to form a Ghanaian tech company. That came the NITA. NITA was also formed through our efforts, to be able to have that one. So they went in there and created NITA, to be able to be the arm where technology will pass to the country. And then came the stock exchange. So when we got there, so I went to Dr. Gama. Then at the governor, I said, Dr. Gama, we are doing this thing. They said there should be something called stock exchange. What do we do to do it? And he said, that's a very tall order, So we began the journey and then found out that there must be founders. So me and Edward Bohine, I want to tell my friend Edward Bohine, we were the only private, so we got some institutional, to follow. So we all got $5,000 each at that time to fund Ghana Stock Exchange. So I brought all the computers and so. So we got somewhere,
And that's how the stock exchange was set up?
Yes, we founded, one of the founders of Ghana Stock Exchange with $5,000. It actually started, if you were a merchant bank, we used to meet at merchant bank. This is Baita, Chris Nate, Edusei, was key. Oh, friends, so we got together. It was not government. Ghana Stock Exchange.
Where is Celltel now? What are you doing now, Celltel?
Okay. Today, so we went through all that, and so once the things began, they became a court. All the company became court issues. So a lot of litigations happened. So we were in court for 20 years. So it's that's an MTN got acquired by a company called Investcom. Scancom. A lot of bitter things. Westel went through Zain and all of them. So Celltel, came. We went through all that. It became very difficult. While the thing had the American partner decided to leave, because they don't like the litigation. So then these people came, and so it was a minority rights, but majority rights. Though the law was not clear. So we went through all that. So the original telcos that began all vamoose one way or the other to these kind of litigation. Now you see Airtel and Tigo, but the background was Telecom. Western Wireless, Zain now joined to Celltel, so on, so on, so on. So. But the good news is that 5 years ago, we're there. I said, look, there's a need to be able to see. So because of my background, because of my knowledge base, I was invited back. I went to Harvard, to speak. This is where this whole Elevy thing really. It was in Pesa at that time, in Kenya.
In Kenya.
So the thought process was that it was the M-Pesa, might be, the way, for Africa or whatever to evaporate. So when we went, I said, look, we think that M-Pesa, as good as it is, if you look at all the data till today, so it's in Ghana. I'm going to give you some information about data, when it comes to Ghana, all this mobile business. It does not help the country to digital, to grow into e-commerce and all of them, which India and others are doing.
Okay.
Because it's just a receiving end. Mm-hmm. See, when you look at all the M-Pesa, so I said, no, that will not grow Africa, because the biggest problem in Africa today is that you, the young people, you must grow. You don't have a background of gold economy, diamond economy, timber economy, but your knowledge, yes, you are giving to me. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the US, look at China, it's all about knowledge-based economy.
Yes.
You see, so for telephone, for laptop, for a tablet, connectivity, we are gone. This is where we are now. This is where we've been for many, many years. So we said, look, these things cannot go there. So after all the argument and all the banter with with those who were challenging me in Harvard, then when we finished, I won the debate. It was a big debate which I won. And no, we need to go back to digitalization and transforming our economy to digital as it is in the US and so on.
So what do you think about the e-levy?
So when I finished that, let me just conclude this one.
Okay.
Then the next day I was invited to come to MIT. So I arrived at MIT, Massachusetts of Technology.
Yes, I know MIT.
Not knowing the developers of the M-Pesa came from MIT.
Okay.
All these mobile, the Elevy business you're talking about, it came from MIT. So we had a discussion, so who are you, your background, they found out already, so, and that they were so impressed how I stood against it. Truly, they thought that that's the only way, because it gives foreign exchange, it increases foreign remittances, but it does not build the networks, because the receiving and you only need any phone. That is the problem in Ghana right now. You see, when you ask me about Elevy, I'll tell you, if I am government, if I am my brother, kind of operator, I'll hold on for another 1 year. I'll hold on for another 1 year. Why am I saying so? The receiving end of the Elevy is YAM phones, Odelia. It's not smartphones. It's YAM phones. You see, when you look at the minister, want money. So is it money for the treasury today? Or is it money for the long term? Or is it money for forever? We need to know what the real issue is about. Now, if it's only for the treasury, for $1 billion, let's find out how we can make $1 billion now, and do not move in to rush into something because we need money today. No, I don't agree. I want anybody who has challenged me, I'm prepared to meet to have that discussion. He said, look, when you go to universities, Odile, all the universities in Ghana here, all they need is a laptop and internet to connect today. COVID is not going to go away.
No.
But today, look, the new Vice Chancellor, of University of Ghana, in her speech, she said that she wished and hoped that by the time she finished, all the students will have a laptop and get connected. Professor Dixon, Kenya University, said the same thing when I went there. You see, when you look at the NCA report, majority of the connections in Ghana today are all YAM phones. They are not internet. Internet penetration is so weak, It
is true.
Now, look at what happened in the quiz. It's a young lady won from her head in Qatar Business School, and she's been celebrated. But if you look at the revenue base for Ghana, all that we need is $1 billion. Look, Vietnam last year, 2020, they are going to get about $7 billion from e-commerce alone. From e-commerce alone. That is smartphones, apps, whatever, you've got a Yango, whatever.
Is that why you're leapfrogging? You're looking there next?
Yes, so this company today, our next leapfrog, is what we call a smart network or smart city. So this project, all of a sudden, all the companies decided to get back, to my vision, to transform Ghana to a smart country, smart continent. So today we have Cisco, who's our lead. We have Facebook, who's our lead. We have Google. We have everybody here. So when we did all the analysis to leapfrog, they realized that about 62% of all the smartphones, all the phones in Ghana are all analog phones to today. Or they are all old equipment, refurbished equipment. And the country, a beautiful country like that cannot go like that. Now, another problem is that when you look at AFTA agreement, African Continental Trade Agreement, Ghana is a headquarters for trade. And in that trade, it's about 60% digitalization. If you look at the vice president, he's been pumping and pumping and pumping that Ghana must go because gold, diamond, oil and gas, all of them are all gone. It's not a futuristic revenue anymore. So the Minister of Finance is smart to see that maybe let me get revenue from here, but we must have to allow it to mature. So our new project is to connect almost all the 275 constituencies, put smart network there, put smartphone in everybody's hands, tablets, laptops, and a smart TV. There are smart TVs that can have 5,000 channels. All you need to, like the US, might be subscription, like the UK. So people can, every home must have Wi-Fi. Now, when you look at the children, in Ghana today, our children are very, very smart, and can do anything. When you go home, give your children smartphone and Wi-Fi, they keep quiet. They know how to do it already. So the next trend for the next 10 years is e-commerce. Now Ghana, we are drawing a lot of fintech again. You see, Ghana has focused a lot only on financial services, so everybody getting collapsing. But the foundation to build the financial services, if you look at MTN, MTN, Cyril Ramaphosa was then the general secretary. He pulled out, Nelson Mandela signed what they call a black empowerment. I think what the Minister of Finance, government should be doing is to move a bill for equity laws for our young people in this country. Because whatever they are building, they'll get bought like we all suffered and struggled. It must not happen again. You see, so giving people 100,000 is not the way to go. In the US, in Britain, or wherever it is, they give them equity. There must be equity laws. In Malaysia, in Singapore, that's how they won, not by giving them cash.
You were just saying that the digital penetration is weak.
Very, very weak, yeah.
And so I'm wondering why you are starting off with manufacturing and not helping solve the weak part of things, because when people have cell phones, if they have laptops, they will come back to the weak systems to use the devices.
Okay, there are two projects that are going on.
Okay.
Where you are right now is a telecom site.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Celltel that is going to provide all the networks. We began already. Internet for every home, Wi-Fi for everywhere.
Okay.
We are going to give a most affordable Wi-Fi from next year.
Okay.
Every home, all journalists, everybody will have it. We're going to have,
I thought you said I'm not a journalist.
The only difference about it is that, if you look at, say, the Qatar tidal wave business, is it when you go to Qatar, what you see is not tidal wave. What you see in Qatar is prosperity, the beach, the sea. To resolve that problem, you need to declare Qatar, a smart city. The beaches are so beautiful. The hotels, if you look at Jamaica, you look at Fort Lauderdale, you look at Florida, Dubai, and all of them. That's how those areas are. So our project, for instance, right now I'm also the president of the Voter Development Forum right now. So what we're doing is that trying to all the 18 districts to transform them, into smart region. So we declared a $1 billion economy for the region already, and so many things are happening. We just finished a big Volta Fair. For the first time, everybody is moving to home. Digital penetration into Volta has gone up about 15%. 2 years ago was what in Togoland. This time it's a prosperity Togoland. It's a prosperous region. So it's all about people. You see, many years ago we did all this, not by the government alone. There was also that collaboration between government, and the private sector, Minister of Finance there, Kosebujeta and the Policy and Analysis Division, kind of all of us were there, Joe Yankee. There was nothing like party, there was nothing like NDC or NPP.
Do you do anything for the oil rigs in terms of provision of internet or
no, we are
services?
now, see, you had this building had a lot of oil. I was sad to know that they cannot even get connectivity to oil rigs right now. So we are working on that right now. One of our major things is oil and gas. One of our divisions is oil and gas to connect all the oil rigs, nationwide, even worldwide. Cisco is leading that with Emerson, one of our major companies. So we did a lot of webinars, proposals, and then it's going to work next year. Okay,
and it's going that they're doing that with Celltel.
Yeah, Celltel is a big company. I mean, it might be the biggest employer, touch wood, and the only Ghanaian company which we listed on the stock exchange, which we have founded. We're not going to make those mistakes again about. I'm a very fan of local direct investment now, not FDI. Yeah. When I was AGI president, we wanted to get equity laws in Ghana. We got close to the oil and gas industry, which is the equity of 30%. Yeah. We didn't achieve that, but I think the current NCA in the new licenses included 35% for MTN, so they're trying to list on the stock exchange. But the reality we need in Ghana right now is that the Minister of Finance and the GIPC, to lead so that we have dialogue. The closer we go from AGI was local content. So the oil and gas industry, so they start hiring Ghanaians from abroad, so. But we need to close that gap by getting 30%. So all these young people, Andrew Pay and all of them, they should say that we have funded our company, Haftel and all of them, that they own, as Ghanaians, they own 30% of that company. In the US, it's 35, UK, China. That is the only missing link right now. South Africa have done it. So you see the Black Empowerment, Cyril Ramaphosa Group, they created the Black Empowerment. They own MTN, they own DSTV. Most of the companies, not by in the Black South Africans, they were also, Link did the same thing. So we need to be very bold enough to use this Elevy. We should not. It's a very good policy, but we shouldn't be talking about that. We need to create, otherwise nothing will happen. Assuming the thing was not created, are we saying that we cannot run Ghana? Let's have patience. It's only $1 billion. $1 billion is not a whole lot. This company, by business model, you create a business, $1 billion, 1,000 subscribers, but 275 for 3 years. You have $1 billion revenue. Look at multimedia. How Jim started. He's not making that much money, but all of you are wealthy. Look at your face. Everybody's empowered. Yeah. So the problem that we had in terms of the old shareholder, the telco, but not is it. But it's about beginning in a very big time, So that's why the name came back. Celltel must come back again, because all the people say that when you go around the whole world, they were the best structured company, or they were the best vision. So we should try and, redraw it. My only condition is that no more equity. Let us help, so everybody join it, so we call revenue, a revenue-based company. When you go to the UK right now, the whole of last 2 weeks, I was checking when I had this laptop problem going on. I was very worried. My worry was not the laptop because it's a huge policy by government that teachers might just have laptops. As whether they're the right one, the right specs, that's another story, to tell. But I found a lot of, results. So we wanted to intervene because we are going to be in the industry anyway. So I've been promised that maybe next year we are going to advertise. Odile can have a laptop, i7, best of the specs, once you pay for data. Because when I ask you how much you pay for data, you give me some huge. We have realized that majority of Ghanaians, even the students, they're spending more than 200 cedis a month for data alone.
Hey, yes.
Yes. 200 cedis a month. And that's more than enough to give everybody a free laptop. Just to pay that maximum 250 cedis, and wherever you are, you get connectivity and a high-speed internet. So that's what we are working towards, So by next year...
So it's likely you can get a free laptop?
Yeah. We are going to launch it very soon.
And then you buy data.
Yeah. Once you come, you'll be charged, maybe.
Wow.
So
Nice talking to you,
yes,
Dr. Kofi Kludjeson. I
Yeah.
think this has been like really exciting conversation. Celltel is coming back in two forms. That's a cellular or data company, and then also a technology or a manufacturing firm that it goes into technology products. Thank you very much, Dr. Kofi Kludjeson, for speaking to us on Joy Business. Thank you.